Hi, this is Jared again on behalf of Expert Village, and in this section I want to talk to you about some of the myths of table tennis. If you've played in different people's garages, I'm sure you've heard some pretty obscure rules, and so I want to clear some of those up. The first one is, what happens if your opponent hits it off the edge of the table, but it hits your racket before it hits the ground? Well, surprisingly, it is your point no matter what. So you can be comforted in knowing if they hit it off, you can grab it with your hand, you hit it with your racket, you can stop it. As long as it's off the edge of the table, you can do whatever you want with the ball. A second myth you may have heard is, what happens if the server has one let, and then they serve again and they have a second let? What happens after the second let? Do they lose a point, or does it keep on going? Surprisingly, you can have 100 lets in a row. You can have an infinite amount, and it doesn't matter. They get to keep serving until it's a fair serve. Another myth you may have heard is something called a skunk. In most situations, that is where one player is beating another opponent so badly that the score is 7-0. And in this situation, some people think that the person who has 7 automatically wins the match. Well, this is not true. The score can be 10-0 and the game will still play on until one opponent reaches 11 or wins by 2. So a skunk is not real. Another myth is, what happens if you hit the ball and your opponent hits the ball back before they allow it to hit their side? Well, you've seen it in volleyball, you've seen it in tennis. What happens if they hit it before it hits their side? That is actually awarded to the person who hit the ball before. They have to let it hit their side. They cannot hit it before it hits their side. The last myth is, what if on the service the ball hits the other person's side twice before it goes off the edge of the table? It's a very short serve. Some people think that that might be awarded to the person who was receiving. Well, that's not true. It's actually a great strategy to try and let the ball bounce twice so that the serve is very short and hard to return.